isn't necessarily a bad thing, but in this society, if you're seen as a lowly person, you're looked down upon. You're looked as a loser and a bum. People don't want to be a loser and a bum, and they don't want to associate with losers and bums because they think you're nothing.
But see, where you want to be in these last days, you don't want to be high and got a good name for yourself in this world, because the last end of those people will be to naught.
Right.
They're gonna come to nothing when it's all said and done. But the guys that has no name in this world, the guys are the bums, whatever you want to call them, or poor, they're gonna be the ones to be exalted in that day, as it states right now in the scriptures. Okay, that's what we're going into, and how the Lord will exalt the meek. The Lord, it says in the book of Matthew, the 5th chapter, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the kingdom. So you want to be the lowly and the meek one right now. You don't want to be the top guy right now, because all of the top guys are going to be of nothing. As a matter of fact, they're going into slavery. How about that? The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all of these so-called royal family, which the real royals is us. That's why I use the term so-called. But all of these royal families and all of that, and all of these individuals that have the earth's natural resources to make themselves rich in the first place, they're going to be bums, man. They're going to be our slaves in the future. Let's get that in Revelations 13 and 16. The people that are doing good right now, they're going to be our slaves in the future, including the Edomites. So you don't want to be the guys that's doing good right now. And also, you can also get you can also get Isaiah 14 as well.
There's another point, Slakia. Kanye West was declared as the richest so-called black man in American history. And people are looking at that as if that's a great thing. But his riches aren't worth shit, because he's still owned by the people that control him. He's not a free man. No. He's tied to this world, and he's going to lose everything with this world. Right,
because there's a difference between being rich and running the world. See, what you want to become a ruler of the world. You don't want to become somebody that's just there, walking around, okay, he's famous, he's rich, but he has no true power. Yes. See, in the kingdom, we're going to have true power. The remnant will receive real power. They're going to be calling the shots. They're going to be running things. They're going to be being responsible for basically the world, the affairs of the world. Those are the guys you want to be. Okay, go on, brother. You don't want to be no damn celebrity. Okay, he got a couple of nice cars there and there. But like I said, when it's all said and done, when this world comes piling down and the economy crashes, what is this resources going to do for him then? It's not going to do anything for him. And then it says, they that are great in this kingdom shall become the least in the kingdom. Okay? Go on, brother.
Did you want Revelation 13:10? It says, he that leadeth into captivity.
Yeah, you can get that as well. And also get Isaiah 14. You get Isaiah 14. Yeah, read that.
Right. Revelation 13:10, it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Yeah.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Right. So this is the thing. And this is just one part of it. Because we know that according to the history, what happened, I'll say about 500 years ago, roughly around that time. What happened? We was put into captivity, right? You had a group of people, and let's just go all the way back to the land of Ham, which is what you really had, because you got people saying, oh, Africans sold Africans. No, what happened was you had the real Africans, the Hamites, selling the Hebrew Israelites into slavery, okay, which were of Shemitic origin, which is us, and then you had the Arabs, which were involved in that, and obviously the so-called white men, including the so-called Jews, which profited greatly of our enslavement. So what's going to be the judgment for that? They're going to go into slavery, and they're going to be our slaves, and they're going to build us up. They're going to build our corporations up. They're going to build our empire up. Okay, that's how empires are built up, because you have to have, slaves, as the people are, including ourselves. Okay, you have the rulers, you have the very remnant of that rule the world, and you have those that are below the king. Okay, go on, brother.
Yeah, it says, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Right, so now let's get this, Isaiah 14. Let's get Isaiah 14 verse, I think it's verse 2.
This is Isaiah 14 and verse 2.
Yeah.
And the people shall take them
this is it here, yeah.
and bring them to their place.
Yeah.
And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord, Yahawashi.
Right, so we're going to possess nations in the land of the Lord, which is Israel. Go on.
For servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were.
Right, because when you go into the history of the Israelites, we were under captivity because of our sins. So we went into captivity under all of these different nations. So in return, so that the Lord can have us possess basically all of these nations around the world. to rule them in righteousness. Now we're going to beat their butts to
right.
get them in order. That's going to be the first thing. But when it's all said and done, the nations are going to be in a state of joy because we're going to deal with them accordingly too. Okay? But let's continue. So who is reading? Yeah, you reading that, right?
And they shall rule over their oppressors.
Right, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So the oppressors of the past and the oppressors present. We're going to rule over them. Go on.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahawashi shall give thee rest from thy sorrow,
Right.
and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve.
Exactly, like what we're serving right now. When you look at the average Jake is working from paycheck to paycheck out here. So that's all going to be done away with. That's all going to be pretty much kicked out of the earth. Where basically, because that's really a curse when you really think about it. That's a curse which was casted upon our people due to the fact that we committed sin against them. So in return, this is what had to happen, basically. But in return, the Lord is going to pretty much pave the way for a payback. Because whatever a man sow, that shall he also reap. Let's get that. Galatians 6 verse 7, brother. And also you can give me Colossians 3 and 25 as well.
All right, this is the book of Galatians chapter 6 and verse 7. It says, "Be not deceived, for the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
Right, whatsoever a man sow, that shall he also reap. Go on.
For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption."
Exactly. So all of the evil that which was done because of a nation or a race which is in a state of exaltation right now. Like for example, it's just like in science, right? You have, what is it? Just 101 science knowledge, cause and effect. So if you're doing something and later on in return, you're going to receive exactly the thing which you have done. Okay, whatever you put out there, you're going to get back in return. If you treat people with respect, people respect you.
Right.
If you treat people like crap,
You get
other
treated
people-
like crap.
Exactly. So it's just basic. That's not even deep. Everybody knows that. But it works like that in everything. Go on, brother. Let's read this.
Isaiah 49 and 23 says, and their kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers.
Right.
They shall bow down to thee with thy faces toward the earth.
Right, so
and
it's going to get to the point where they're actually going to bow down before us. But why though? Because the name of the Lord will be casted upon his people. Us, basically. The Lord's name is going to be casted upon us. And that's why every nation is going to want to bow down and be pleased unto us because of that. So in other words, just overallly and speaking, basically, all of the other nations are going to be servants, man. That's the end result. Right now, the Chinese are licking their lamps thinking they're going to be the next in power. And when you look at it from a physical standpoint, it looks like that's the case. It actually looks like that they could actually take over. Yeah. But in all reality, the Lord has an agenda. Let's get Proverbs 19 and 21. We'll continue on with what you're reading, though.
Lick up the dust of thy feet, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, for they shall not be ashamed that wait for me.
Right. And we're the ones that's waiting for the Lord. Right.
I'll just make a point about that, because you might look at that straight away and you might say that seems a bit harsh. Bow down, lick up the dust of someone's foot.
Yeah.
But what they used to do to the Gadites, and all of the tribe really, they used to get them, the little babies, and push them under the very little.
Yeah, that's what they did.
Put them under just for their heads to show.
Yeah.
And kick off the head.
Yeah,
kick off the head or bash the heads in.
What they used to also do is they used to take the ones of our children, like the guy who would be sitting in the chair, and he will use one of our, one of the children of our nation as a footstool. That's what they used to do. Yes. But you know what's funny, right? Because
yeah, man. Yeah.
I really can't get mad about that because hey, we're gonna do the same thing.
And they used to get the youth them as well. Same thing, put them under the ground and just their head showing and shit on their heads.
Yeah.
Shit on their heads.
So they have to get judged for that. Salaki, brother, everything that Esau did, they have to get judged for that, man. Everything that they've done.
I try not to meditate on things like that, man, because I don't want to walk down the road and just feel like I want to just do something to someone, man. Go on, man.
You called for a precept, Proverbs 19 and which?
Yeah, Proverbs 19 and 21.
Proverbs 19 verse 21. There are many devices in a man's heart.
In other words, thoughts. Go on.
Nevertheless, the counsel of Yahawah is what shall stand.
Right, the counsel of the Lord, that shall stand. So yeah, like I said, it looks like China could take over, but that's not the deal. The deal is for the elect of Israel to take over the world and rule the world as the house of David. But first, the house of David got to get themselves together, as it's going right now. The house of David has got themselves together, as you have all of us all around the world with these robes on. Okay? Telling you the truth, proclaiming the word of Yahawashi throughout the four corners of the earth. and gathering the elect of the nation of Israel. Now, amongst our people, you're gonna have our people looking like the other nations. They may be coming from Ireland, they may be coming from Italy, they may be coming from Russia. So this is not necessarily a colored thing. This is more of an Israelite thing, a nationality thing. Okay. But if you're not an Israelite and you're part of the table of nations, your destiny and your future is slavery. Basically, you're going to be the servants of the next world under us. And we're not going to just rule for a particular moment in time, like how it was in the ancient world, where you had ancient kingdoms that came about, like the Medo-Persian Empire, the Babylonian Empire. Our kingdom is going to be an everlasting kingdom. Yeah. Because this is what the Lord wants to set up. Okay. He is very zealous to setting up this particular kingdom. Go on.
Amos 9:9. For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations.
Among all nations. So wait a minute, I thought God loved every nation though. So why would he need to sift the nation of Israel among all nations? Just bring them all together, because he loved everybody, right? Go on, brother.
I will sift the house of Israel as among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve.
Yeah.
Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth.
In other words, the elect, none of the elect will be forsaken or forgotten about, because they're all going to have that mark upon them. The name of the Lord, which is the Yahawah, which means mark of exemption. So they're going to have the name of the Lord upon them, which is the mark of exemption from judgment, as going all the way back. And it kind of reminded me of what was going on during the time of Egypt.
The Passover.
Right, the Passover. And what was told was every Israelite had to pretty much cast blood upon their doorposts. And that represented the mark of basically being exempt from judgment, pretty much. So being that we have the name of the Lord, when all hell breaks loose, we're going to be exempt from judgment. The judgment of what is of ungodly men, and also the sons of perdition, which the word perdition means destruction. Because fire is coming down here. That's another thing that's coming on the earth, fire. Go on, brother. It was once the flood. What is what I meant to say, but it's going to be fire now. Go on, brother.
Ezekiel 9:4. And Yahawah said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that
and
be
that's
done.
What we're doing right now. Go on.
For all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite.
Right. So these are the angels, because this is what was going on during the time of Babylon. And the angels were told not to smite the men that had the mark upon them, because those were the men that didn't agree with the wickedness of that world. So they were exempt. They became pretty much those that had the mark to be exempt from judgment. Like how it is right now when we come out here and we teach this word, because we've been doing this for years. Some brothers have been out here since, what is it, the 80s, the early 90s. Some of us have been out here since, 2010, me including. Okay, and other guys, 2008, 2005. So we've been doing this for a long time, and we've been bringing out the same precepts over and over again. And nothing's really changing, and it's just equivalent to what was going on during the time of Noah. Or should I say, with Noah himself, because Noah prophesied, 120 years, saying the same thing over and over again, repetitively, to the point where what he was saying actually came to pass, because it was a prophetic event which would occur. Going on.
It says, and to the others in my hearing he said, go ye after him through the city and smite.
Yeah.
Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary.
Right. And you know what the scripture shows as well? The scripture shows that the Heavenly Father is both sides. He's not just one way, as the pastors would have you believe. Oh, God is just a God of love. Yeah, he's a God of love, but he's also a God of hate when the time is correct. And right now we're living in a time of the Most High showing his hatred on the earth, as it was going on at this time, to the point where even little children were being destroyed and little girls were being destroyed. Okay, it wasn't just the men; it was vulnerable. You could say the vulnerable among us. All right, but come not near those that have the mark, those that had the Yahawah mark, which wasn't agreeing with the wickedness. So the Lord is going to have mercy, as it says in the book of Romans, the 9th chapter, on whom he has mercy upon. And who's going to have mercy upon are those that are not going with the wickedness of this world today.
to your point.
Go on.
What you said is the Most High is both sides. He can be
Right.
love and he can be hate.
Right.
The Christians teach that God is all love, but the scriptures say a false balance is an abomination
There you
to the
go.
Most High.
There you go.
So how do they deal with that?
Exactly. Because that's a very good point. Because the Lord is a balanced power. That's how you get perfection, by being balanced. Can't just be one way. So the Lord is going to show hatred in this world because of the wickedness that be done thereof, according to it. And then when the time is right, then the Lord will show love. But right now, this ain't the time. As a matter of fact, brother, hold what you got. Get
Still had
Ecclesiastes. It's lucky, bro. I got you going all over the place, man.
What was it? Ecclesiastes
3.
3.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what's happening right now. That's why there's a world war brewing. Why is it that these other nations are getting together and coming up with ways to defend themselves with these missiles? Because there's going to be a nuclear war, and it will play out by the will of the Lord. It was spoken of in the Bible, and it's going to happen now. I mean, it doesn't say that literally that missiles are going to be shot forth. It doesn't say that, but it's in code. But it takes the wise to understand, the prophets of the Lord to understand, which are the people that can interpret the book. Because think about it, everybody has Bibles in their house. Everyone has Bibles, but most people don't understand them. Now you got some people that are well studied, so I give them that. But most people don't understand the Bible. Most people will say, well, the Bible is just a bunch of nonsense, because they're not prophets. The Bible is only meant for the prophets to take hold of and to basically break down and reveal the secrets going on.
It says Psalms 139.
Yeah, they were listening for a good old time.
Yeah.
Man.
She was checking you out, though.
Psalms
Oh, really?
139 and verse 21, it says, "Do I not hate them, O Yahawah, that hate thee?
Yeah.
Am I not grieved with those that rise up against thee?
Right.
I hate them with a perfect hatred."
Right, so this is the Most High speaking. Am I correct?
Through David.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
the Lord
yeah.
has another side to him, hatred. And I mean, it wouldn't really make sense for him to just be lovable, but he also gave us the emotion to hate. So here it is, we can hate because he gave us the emotion of hate, but he can't hate. That don't even make sense. Well, the Most High is over us. It's not the other way around. Going out.
Yeah, that's a precept to what you just said, man. Job 12 and 16 says, "With him is strength and wisdom,
Yeah.
and the deceived and the deceiver are his."
Right, so with him is strength and wisdom. So if the Heavenly Father is a power of wisdom, and he has so much wisdom, which he has given a lot of people their form of, amount of wisdom. So man, with that wisdom, they can be angry or they can be upset. And so much more, he can do the same thing. And
Yeah.
he's allowed to do that. Because all of those emotions came from him.
Come on.
Go on, brother.
To what you were saying, your point about a false balance, because the deceiver and the deceiver are his.
Yeah.
So you were saying about they're all coming together,
Yeah.
clicking up together
Yeah.
for war.
Yeah.
That's the Most High doing that. He's clicking.
Yeah.
He's the one that's
He's the one that's
using
making
that
the way
side
for
as
that.
well, both
Absolutely.
sides.
Yep.
It's like I've got another point. I remember when I was a child, at school we used to sing a song. It's called "He's Got the Whole World
Yeah,
in
yeah.
His Hands." Now these people are
Likewise.
singing this song, but they don't actually believe that the Most High is actually controlling both the good and the evil. So
Yeah.
again, it's another vain thing that these people talk, but they don't really have any understanding about.
Yeah.
Right.
Can I just expound? That's why it says in Romans 9, who would dare to reply against the Most High?
Yeah.
Shall the thing that formed it say to the thing
Exactly,
that was formed,
man.
why hast
Exactly.
thou made me?
Exactly.
You don't make some pottery and that pottery ends up speaking to you. Where should why did you make me like you
Yeah,
can't do
yeah.
that? It's
Yeah.
the Heavenly Father.
Why don't you make me like that one over there, man?
Yeah. Well, why wasn't I taller?
Yeah. No, that is true. That is true. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
And sometimes, man can get like that, where they be saying things like, man, why couldn't I have been this or why couldn't I have been that?
like that Jadakiss song. Why? With
Yeah.
John Hamilton.
Yeah. Anthony Hamilton, can't.
Anthony Hamilton.
I know you know about that.
Yeah, that's a good one, that one.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that's it right there. Yeah. So you got something, right?
Carry on, because I'm gonna find what you just. It's in Romans, isn't it? Romans
Yeah,
9.
Romans 9.
Yeah, because
You got finished reading.
some
Didn't
good points in
Yeah, I
there.
finished my. No, I can read it again.
Okay.
Let's read it again.
you? Yeah. To recap.
It says, "Do I not hate them, O Yahawah, that hate thee? Am I not grieved with those that rise up against thee?
Yeah.
I hate them with a perfect hatred. I count them mine enemies."
So the Most High can hate something with perfect hatred. or somebody with perfect hatred. And he does hate. All right? And he loves too. So there's a balanceation. Now, according to the book of Romans, the 9th chapter, as the brother's going to get, there's a nation whom the Lord loves, and there's a nation whom the Lord hates. And really what Paul was referenced was written in the book of Malachi 1 and 4. How the Lord hated Esau and loved Jacob. And he can do that because he is the creator. He is the creator, so he can pick and choose out of all of his creation whether he hates what he created or whether he loves what he excuse me, let me reiterate what I'm saying correctly one more time. Right? Being that the Lord has created all of this right here, he can say what he likes about his creation and what he hates of his creation. Just like, for example, I mean, if you're a painter or you're an artist, let's just say you've done like what, 20 paintings. Out of those 20 pieces of paintings, you can just love 3 of them bad boys because you made it, you created it. Go on, brother.
This is Joel chapter 3 and verse 4. Yea, and what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon,
Right.
and all the coasts of Palestine?
Which are those Hamites? Go on.
Will you render me a recompense? And if you will recompense me swiftly and speedily,
Yeah.
will I return your recompense upon your own head?
Exactly. So the payback is going to come. Even them Hamites were involved in the slave trade, selling the Hebrews, right along with the Arabs, right along with the Edomites, the so-called white people. So they're going to be paid for what they have done. And this is where World War III comes in. Go on.
It says, because you have taken my silver and my gold, and carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things.
Right.
And the children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem
And
have
that's
you
what the
sold.
ancient Romans did when they conquered us around 70 AD. They took the menorah and all of the other resources. And I believe, if I'm correct, I believe the Greeks probably did the same thing too. I have to go back in my history because I've kind of forgot, kind of a bit rusty in those areas.
I believe it's the Assyrians that ransacked Jerusalem as well. So like the Babylonians, because it tells you that correlates to Psalms 137 when it says, they said raise it,
Yeah.
and the Edomites were cheering them on.
Yeah.
Like I might also add, it was the Edomites who destroyed the temple as well because they sacrificed swine's flesh on the altar. So in that time in Maccabees, I believe they what do you call it? Plundered the temple as well.
Well, you're right, because that's why it was called the abomination of desolation.
Right. Come on, yeah. So I'm correct then. All right, yeah. So that's what they did. So because of what they did, they're going to be taken and plundered.
Yeah.
Let's read this.
I've got this point here. It kind of puts a stamp on it. It says, "For the scriptures saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose I have raised thee up, that I might show my power to thee, in thee, that thou might my name might be declared throughout all of the earth." Jump down to 20 of Romans 9. But, O man, who art thou that repliest against God? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus?
Right. So you can't say, oh, the Most High can't hate on this guy or whatever. You know, just questioning against the Most High. You can't do that, man. Go on.
21. Hath not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor,
Right. One vessel unto honor. Go on.
and another unto dishonor?
So you have people that are dishonorable before the eyes of the Lord. So an Israelite man can't say to the Most High, why did you make him dishonorable? Why could you make everybody righteous? The Lord can do whatever the hell he wants to do.
That's it.
Because we are of his creation. We originate from him. He is the Father. The word Father, as I've said and I'll say it again, means origin. So he has that power to pick and choose who he likes and what he don't like. Even the father can pick and choose out of his children who he loves. He may love one and hate the other.
Yep.
Okay, and even including his wives.
Yep.
There's men that had multiple wives and they hated one of their wives.
Yep.
And loved one of the other wives.
Yep.
Okay, but that's not going to happen in the kingdom, of course, because all of us are going to be blessed.
You better be able to cook, boy, because you might not be the first one I love, you know. Cook and do certain things like what I like.
Come on.
Otherwise, you go to the back burner, man.
Come on.
It's like, I make a point. If I'm not mistaken, in the case of Jacob, there's Rachel and Leah as to wife, and he loved Rachel, but Leah was the one who was given to him first.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why Joseph's brothers hated him so much is because Joseph was the son of Rachel.
Yeah.
Therefore, Jacob loved him a lot.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
his brothers hated him because they perceived that his father showed more favour towards him. That's why they threw him in the ditch.
Oh yeah.
So, like you said, you know, sometimes you're going to have a lot of children, you have a lot of wives, but you're going to have one in favour, just like the Lord. The Lord's got a favourite flower, it's a lily.
Right.
You know, and he's chosen one valley, one pit, one flower. So, like, that's
And one bird too, which is the dove.
the dove. That's right.
Yeah. So, and I'm glad you brought that out because I was briefly thinking about that precept. But yeah, the Lord, the Most High has that audacity to pick and choose what he likes and what he don't like of his creation. It's just what it is. You know, Esau can't say, well, I should be the one. No. You don't get to say what you should have been. The Most High created you for his purpose only on the earth. And the reason why the Most High created you, Esau, so that you can pretty much bring forth wickedness and to show the world what a life of sin was all about. That's why you was created. And then you'll be taken out of the way and pretty much exterminated pursuant to Obadiah 1:18. Esau will be Obadiah 1:18. Okay?